Every day, millions of adults over 60 sit down to meals they believe are helping them stay healthy. They eat less junk food, they avoid sugary drinks, they add more vegetables to their plate, and they feel comforted by the thought that they are taking better care of their body. But what if some of the vegetables you trust most are quietly making your kidneys work harder than they should? That is the part many people never hear. Kidney trouble does not always begin with pain. It can begin with swelling in the ankles, a tired feeling that never fully goes away, more frequent urination at night, puffiness in the face, muscle cramps, a poor appetite, or blood test numbers that slowly start moving in the wrong direction. Many people blame aging. Few suspect the foods they eat every day. And that is why this matters so much after 60, because when the kidneys begin to struggle, they usually do not shout. They whisper. And if those whispers are ignored for too long, the body may pay the price in ways that are much harder to reverse. In the next few minutes, senior nutrition expert will show you 4 vegetables that may seem healthy, but can become a problem for some adults over 60, especially if creatinine is rising, kidney function is declining, or blood pressure and blood sugar have already placed stress on the kidneys. And just as importantly, you will also hear 4 gentler choices that may help take some of that burden off your body. And before this video ends, you may discover that one of the foods sitting in your kitchen right now is not helping your kidneys nearly as much as you thought. The first one is something many people think of as one of the cleanest vegetables they can eat. It is green. It is crisp. It is often added to juices, salads, detox drinks, and healthy meal plans. People reach for it when they want to feel lighter, cleaner, and more disciplined. I am talking about celery. Now, let me say this clearly. Celery is not a bad food for everyone. For some people, celery can fit into a healthy diet just fine. But for certain older adults, especially those who already have kidney concerns, celery may become a hidden problem when it is used too often or in concentrated amounts. Why? Because celery contains potassium. It also acts as a natural diuretic for some people, which means it may increase urination and affect fluid balance. That may sound helpful at first. Many people hear words like cleansing or flushing and assume that more is always better. But older kidneys do not always respond well to extremes. After 60, hydration becomes more delicate. Kidney function is often not as strong as it once was. Some people are already taking blood pressure medicine, water pills, or medications that affect electrolytes. So when they start drinking large glasses of celery juice every morning because they heard it was good for cleansing the kidneys, they may be putting stress on a system that is already working harder than before. Picture a 67-year-old woman who decides to become healthier. She stops eating processed snacks. She starts every morning with a big glass of celery juice. She feels proud of herself because she believes she is doing something natural and healing. But over time, she begins feeling more tired. Her mouth feels dry. She becomes lightheaded more often. Her lab work does not improve the way she expected. And she cannot understand why, because in her mind, celery juice was supposed to help. That is the trap. People often assume that if something is natural, green, and trending online, it must be safe in large amounts. But kidneys do not judge food by internet reputation. They judge it by the actual burden it places on the body. So, does that mean you must never eat celery again? No, that is not the message. The message is to be careful with large amounts, especially celery juice used every day. A few chopped pieces in soup or salad are very different from concentrated daily juicing. Sometimes the problem is not the vegetable itself. It is the amount, the frequency, and the form. And the second vegetable may surprise even more people because it has such a strong, healthy reputation. It is dark, leafy, and often praised for vitamins, minerals, fiber, and heart health. It is cooked in family meals. It is added to soups. It is mixed into side dishes. It shows up on plates that look wholesome and homemade. I am talking about Swiss chard. Swiss chard sounds like the kind of food nobody should worry about. It sounds responsible. It sounds wise. And for some people, it may be perfectly fine in moderate amounts. But for others, especially older adults with kidney concerns, Swiss chard deserves caution for 2 reasons. First, it can be high in potassium. Second, it can also be high in oxalates. That combination matters. Potassium is not the enemy. Your body needs potassium. Your muscles need it. Your nerves need it. Your heart needs it. But the kidneys are responsible for helping keep potassium in balance. When kidney filtration becomes weaker, excess potassium may become harder to remove. Oxalates matter too. When oxalates build up in vulnerable people, they may contribute to kidney stone formation, especially calcium oxalate stones. So when an older adult already has stressed kidneys, a history of stones, or lab results that are moving in the wrong direction, a high oxalate, high potassium vegetable eaten too often may not be the harmless health food it appears to be. Think about a retired man who is trying to clean up his diet. He starts eating a large serving of sautéed Swiss chard several nights a week because he heard dark leafy greens are among the healthiest foods you can eat. He feels like he is making a smart choice, and in many ways he is trying to. But if his kidneys are already under strain, that repeated choice may not help him the way he thinks it will. This is one of the hardest lessons after 60. A food can be healthy in general and still be the wrong food for a specific body at a specific stage of life. So what should you do with Swiss chard? Do not panic. Do not turn food into fear. But if you have kidney disease, rising creatinine, a history of kidney stones, high potassium, or reduced kidney function, it is wise to be cautious with frequent large portions. What helps one person may overload another. Now let us move to the third vegetable. This one appears in stir-fries, side dishes, healthy bowls, freezer bags, and dinner plates all across America. It is one of those vegetables people often choose when they want to prove to themselves that they are eating better. I am talking about Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are often praised for fiber and antioxidants. They look like a smart choice, and for many healthy people they can be. But for some older adults with kidney concerns, the issue is that Brussels sprouts can still add a noticeable potassium load, especially when eaten in large portions or combined with other potassium-heavy foods in the same meal. And this is where people get caught. They do not usually eat Brussels sprouts alone. They eat them with roasted potatoes, sweet potato, salmon, a tomato-based dish, beans, or another vegetable. The meal looks beautiful. It looks balanced. It looks exactly like the kind of meal a person should be proud to eat. But if the kidneys are already struggling, that combination may become harder for the body to handle than people realize. Imagine a 72-year-old man who has made a serious decision to eat cleaner. He starts roasting Brussels sprouts in olive oil and garlic several nights a week. He serves them with sweet potato and lean protein. He believes he has finally left unhealthy eating behind. But then his blood tests show that his kidney numbers are not improving the way he hoped. He is confused because nothing on his plate looked bad. That is the point. After 60, the problem is not always junk food. Sometimes the problem is repeated overload from foods that look healthy but are not ideal for kidneys that have already become more vulnerable. Do Brussels sprouts need to be removed forever? Not necessarily, but portion size matters, frequency matters, and what else is on the plate matters. A moderate serving once in a while is not the same as large servings several times a week alongside other high-potassium foods. And now we come to the fourth vegetable. This one is so common that many people never think twice about it. It is sliced into salads. It is dipped into hummus. It is added to sandwiches, wraps, and healthy snack plates. It looks light. It looks harmless. It looks like something nobody would ever question. I am talking about cucumbers. Now at first that may sound strange. How could cucumbers possibly be a concern? The answer is not that cucumbers are dangerous by themselves. The concern is what often comes with them. Many older adults do not eat cucumbers plain. They eat them as part of a pattern. They combine them with salty dressings, packaged dips, sandwich meats, pickled foods, and prepared salads. Or they rely heavily on pickles, thinking they are just another form of cucumber and therefore healthy. And that is where kidney trouble can quietly grow. Pickled cucumber products can be loaded with sodium. High sodium intake can increase blood pressure, and high blood pressure is one of the biggest drivers of kidney damage over time. When pressure inside the blood vessels stays too high for too long, the tiny filtering structures inside the kidneys begin to suffer. That means a person may believe they are making a light choice by reaching for pickles, deli salads, or cucumber-based convenience foods, while the kidneys are dealing with far more sodium than they need. Think of an older woman who replaces chips with pickles because she wants a healthier snack. She feels disciplined. She feels like she is finally making smart decisions. But week after week, she is taking in far more sodium than she realizes. Her ankles swell. Her blood pressure creeps upward. Her kidneys feel that strain long before she fully understands what is happening. That is why food labels matter. And that is why the healthiest-looking habit is not always the healthiest habit. Fresh cucumber in reasonable amounts may be fine for many people, but salty cucumber products, especially pickles eaten often, can quietly work against kidney health. Now, after hearing all that, you may be thinking, what vegetables am I supposed to eat? And that is a fair question. Nobody wants to sit down at the dinner table feeling like every bite is dangerous. Nobody wants healthy eating to become confusing, joyless, or full of fear. The goal is not to remove all pleasure from food. The goal is to make smarter choices that may support kidney health, help manage blood pressure, and reduce unnecessary strain on the body. So, let us turn to 4 gentler options. The first better choice is cauliflower. Cauliflower may not sound exciting, but it can be one of the smartest vegetables for older adults who need to be more careful about kidney health. It is versatile, it is satisfying, and for many people, it can replace heavier side dishes that put more pressure on the kidneys. If you are someone who loves warm, comforting foods at dinner, cauliflower can help. It can be steamed until soft. It can be roasted until the edges turn golden. It can be mashed until creamy. It can be added to soup. It can be lightly sautéed with herbs and olive oil. It takes on flavor well, and that matters because food still has to taste good. If your meals feel like punishment, the habit will not last. A bowl of mashed cauliflower can feel warm and comforting without giving the same burden as heavier, more potassium-dense comfort foods. Small swaps like this may not feel dramatic, but that is often how real health changes happen after 60. Quietly, consistently, one meal at a time. The second better choice is cabbage. Cabbage is one of those humble vegetables that does not get much attention, but it can be incredibly useful. It helps add volume to a meal. It can be cooked until soft and comforting. It can be shredded into salads. It can be added to soups. It can be lightly sautéed with garlic and a little olive oil. And for many people, it is gentler on the kidneys than trendier vegetables that get all the praise. Cabbage is practical. It is affordable. It is flexible. And sometimes the best food for long-term health is not the flashy food. It is the food you can actually keep using again and again without feeling overwhelmed. For someone who used to rely on heavier side dishes every night, cabbage can become a quiet helper in the kitchen. It gives the plate more fullness. It gives you something warm and satisfying, and when it is cooked well with simple seasoning, it can feel much more enjoyable than people expect. The third better choice is red bell pepper. Red bell peppers bring color, flavor, and natural sweetness to meals. They can help brighten a plate without depending so much on salty sauces or heavy processed toppings. They can be eaten raw, roasted, sautéed, or blended into a smooth sauce. That makes them especially useful for older adults who need more flavor but less sodium. Because one of the best things you can do for your kidneys is make healthy food enjoyable enough that you do not keep returning to salt-loaded convenience foods. Some people depend too heavily on bottled sauces, canned soups, or packaged side dishes because they are trying to make food taste better. But red bell peppers can help you build flavor in a fresher, gentler way. Roasted red bell peppers can be blended with garlic, herbs, and a little olive oil to create a rich-tasting sauce that feels satisfying without leaning so heavily on salty, processed ingredients. And the fourth better choice is garlic. Garlic is small, simple, and powerful in the most practical way. It helps food taste better without relying so heavily on salt. That matters because the kidneys and blood pressure are deeply connected. When sodium intake stays high, blood pressure often rises. And when blood pressure rises, the kidneys are forced to work under more stress. Garlic can make vegetables, soups, fish, chicken, and simple home-cooked meals taste fuller and richer. It supports a healthier style of eating, not by magic, but by making better habits easier to stick with. That may sound like a small thing, but it is not. Many older adults know what they should do. Eat less salt, eat fewer processed foods, cook more at home, choose gentler ingredients. But the real struggle begins when the healthy version of dinner tastes bland. That is when old habits come back. That is when people return to canned sauces, salty snacks, frozen meals, and restaurant food. Garlic helps close that gap. It makes simple food smell warmer. It makes vegetables taste more complete. It makes healthier meals easier to enjoy. And if a habit is easier to enjoy, it is much more likely to last. And that is what matters most after 60. Not perfection, not chasing every food trend, not believing every detox promise on the internet, just making meals a little gentler on the body, a little lower in unnecessary burden, and a little more supportive of the kidneys that have served you faithfully for decades. Now let us bring the whole picture together. Celery may seem cleansing, but large amounts of celery juice every day may not be a wise habit for older adults whose kidneys are already under stress. Swiss chard may sound like a super healthy leafy green, but its potassium and oxalate content may be too much for some people. Brussels sprouts may look like the perfect clean side dish, but large portions combined with other high-potassium foods can quietly add up. And cucumbers may seem harmless, but salty cucumber products like pickles can bring a sodium burden that works against healthy kidneys. On the other side, cauliflower can replace heavier comfort foods. Cabbage can make meals fuller without creating as much burden. Red bell peppers can add flavor and color without leaning so hard on salty processed foods. And garlic can help you cut back on salt while still enjoying what you eat. This is not about fear. This is about wisdom. Your kidneys have worked for you every single day of your adult life, through stress, through dehydration, through salty meals, through medication, through long years of wear and tear you may not have noticed at the time. If you are over 60, your body does not need punishment now. It needs support. It needs gentler choices. It needs more attention to the things that quietly add up. And sometimes that begins with one simple question at the dinner table. Is this meal helping my kidneys breathe a little easier, or is it giving them more work to do? That question can change a lot. It may help you skip the daily celery juice. It may help you be more careful with large servings of Swiss chard. It may help you watch how often Brussels sprouts appear beside other high-potassium foods. It may help you choose fresh cucumber over salty pickles. It may help you bring in more cauliflower, cabbage, red bell pepper, and garlic. And over time, those choices may support healthier eating patterns that are kinder to blood pressure, fluid balance, and kidney function. These changes may sound small, but after 60, health is often protected by small decisions repeated consistently. One grocery trip at a time, one dinner at a time, one better habit at a time. A great many people wait for a frightening diagnosis before they begin paying attention. They wait until the swelling gets worse. They wait until the lab numbers rise higher. They wait until a doctor tells them something must change. But the body often gives quiet chances before that moment comes. Small signs, small warnings, small opportunities to lighten the load. That is why the little choices matter so much. The extra salty snack, the daily juice trend, the oversized portion of a food that looks harmless, the repeated habit that seems healthy on the surface but becomes too much over time. None of these things may feel dramatic in one day, but kidneys are affected by what happens again and again. Repetition matters, patterns matter, habits matter. And the good news is that this works both ways. Just as unhealthy habits add up, gentler habits add up too. A better grocery choice adds up. A less salty dinner adds up. A smarter vegetable swap adds up. Cooking at home more often adds up. Choosing flavor from garlic, herbs, and fresh ingredients instead of processed sodium-heavy foods adds up. These things may not feel exciting in the moment. They may not look flashy on social media, but they are often the exact kind of choices that help protect health in real life. That is especially true after 60, when the body often becomes less forgiving than it used to be. At 30, a person may get away with more salt, less sleep, poorer hydration, and repeated food mistakes without noticing much. At 60 or 70, the body often responds differently. The kidneys may filter more slowly, blood pressure may become harder to control, blood sugar may already be affecting the blood vessels, medication may already be changing fluid balance and electrolytes. In that stage of life, it becomes more important to stop assuming that every healthy-looking food is safe in unlimited amounts. Healthy does not always mean unlimited. Natural does not always mean gentle. And popular does not always mean wise for your body. That is why senior nutrition expert wants to keep the message simple. Do not be afraid of food. Do not panic over every vegetable. Do not assume you need a perfect diet overnight. Just start paying closer attention. Pay attention to form. Is it fresh or is it concentrated? Pay attention to frequency. Is it once in a while or every day? Pay attention to portions. Is it a small serving or a large repeated overload? And pay attention to the full meal, because what sits beside a food matters too. One vegetable by itself may be manageable, but when you pile several high-potassium foods onto the same plate, or when you combine a healthy food with salty dressings, packaged sauces, deli meats, canned soup and convenience products, the burden grows quickly. That is why wise eating after 60 is often less about one perfect superfood and more about the total pattern on the plate. Before we end, senior nutrition expert wants to gently remind you that this video is for general education only. It is not meant to scare you, and it does not replace advice from your doctor. If you have kidney disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney stones, swelling, abnormal potassium or rising creatinine, please speak with your doctor or a qualified renal dietitian before making major changes to your diet. A food that helps one person may not be right for another, and the safest plan is always the one that fits your actual health condition. If this video helped you see your kidney health in a new way, please like it, share it with someone over 60 who may need to hear it, and subscribe to Senior Nutrition Expert for more simple, practical, and easy-to-follow nutrition guidance for healthier aging. And remember this, getting older does not mean your body has stopped responding. Your body can still benefit from better choices. Your habits can still improve. Your meals can still become gentler. And your next decision at the table still matters. You do not have to change everything overnight. Just begin with one better meal, one smarter swap, and one kinder choice for the kidneys that have been working for you all these years. I hope you have a peaceful, healthy, and energetic day. And as always, take a deep breath, my friend.